So let's talk about the current state of Xbox Activision acquisition and what is going to happen with it next. Let's look into this. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So most of you probably heard already that European Commission decided to approve the Xbox Activision deal. So that's very good news for Microsoft, of course, and Activision, and I guess gamers too. Now, obviously that approval by European Commission doesn't necessarily mean that the whole deal can go through now, because this is just European Union decision, right? This still doesn't mean that the whole deal can go through, but that particular decision by European Commission gives Microsoft very strong legs to stand on when it comes to fighting CMA or FTC, for example. Okay, so first off, I want to focus on what's the current status of the deal globally, and then I'll talk about what's most likely going to happen next. So first off, let's summarize where we are with this particular transaction, right? Like globally. So I found that post by PostUp, and he's been covering this topic for a while now, and he actually explained it very nicely, in my opinion. So you can find PostUp on Twitter. Link will be in the description of this video below, because there's some interesting conversation going under this tweet too, so it's actually a good read too. So anyway, he says, let's correct a few things since I saw a bit misinformation. First off, the EC, so European Commission, has approved the Microsoft Activision merger with concessions. So the concessions were all about the cloud gaming and stuff, right? Second, the FTC, so Federal Trade Commission, has challenged the Microsoft Activision merger. They have not blocked the merger. They will need a preliminary injunction from a federal court to block the merger. So that's very important, because a lot of people get that confused. They think that FTC blocked the deal. No, they didn't. They cannot block the deal. Only federal court can do it, right? And as things stands right now, I think federal FTC has sued Microsoft, but that court case will be with FTC court first, I think, and then it may go to federal court. So there's still a lot of fight for FTC to block this deal, right? So Microsoft can win in court anyway, and it looks like at least FTC did not apply for preliminary injunction, and that injunction is all about like basically it's like a court order basically preventing Microsoft, I mean, in this particular case, that would be a court order for Microsoft not to proceed with the merger even, before all the proceedings are done. So, and that's very important, because that's very this is something that I'll talk about when I'll talk about the future of this deal. So yeah, FTC and United States have not blocked this deal yet, at least not yet. There's a long way ahead of FTC to actually do that, and it's a long way ahead of Microsoft, most likely, to avoid that block too. Okay, so he continues, since there is no preliminary injunction granted by a federal judge, Microsoft could could close in the US, so the deal, whether they want, since the FTC doesn't approve mergers and hasn't been granted a PL, so preliminary injunction. I'm not really sure if they actually applied for that preliminary injunction or not, so I mean, it's irrelevant anyway. I mean, that court order has not been granted anyway. And then we've got obviously the CMA, so Competition Market Authority in UK, it's the only regulatory body at this point that has actually blocked the deal, and but there's an appeal process there as well. So as you can see, it's not that Microsoft is in big trouble now. I mean, they were in a little bit of trouble, I guess, with a CMA, and I guess they are still are with CMA. But now they've got backing of the whole of European Union, and European Union is, you know, I've seen some people commenting that it's like one big country. It's not a big country. It's like organization of countries. It consists of 27 members, so 27 countries, and there's 3 extra members that are part of like kind of like a trade market, right? So there's, you know, overall we're talking about 30 countries, right? So like just by European Commission approving that deal, that means that 30 countries approved that deal automatically, right? Because that's European Commission to decide when it comes to these trade policies and stuff, right? So that's a big deal. We're talking about huge market, 30 countries in Europe, right? Like most of the Europe, really. So I think we're talking about like 500 million consumers. So that's a lot. In comparison, UK is like 40 or 60, if I'm not mistaken. I think 60 million, right? So 500 million versus 60 million. You see this scale here, like United States is a huge market too, right? And so what's going to happen next? Well, first off, Microsoft has already appealed to the competition tribunal in UK. So, well, obviously the proceedings will, will start at some point. We don't really know how long that will take, but there is actually big pressure on, I guess, that trade commission, not commission, yeah, I mean commission, tribunal, sorry, in UK. So there's going to be a lot of pressure on that tribunal by not only Microsoft and not only market, because there's been a lot of companies complaining about that CMA block, but also UK's Prime Minister seems not very happy with CMA, and they will. There's actually official government hearings with CMA right now going on, so I may actually report on that yesterday if we hear anything about it. But it looks like there is a very strong pressure on CMA right now with that decision, because that's not doing any good for anyone, I guess. So that's CMA, and that process will take time. So the appeal, and CMA will have to reassess the whole deal again, I guess, and make a decision. And we'll see how that goes. I don't want to I don't really want to go beyond that, because there's some crazy ideas what may potentially happen if CMA still holds the line and they still block the deal. There's some ideas, but I don't really want to go into that in this video. I may do in the future. So that's UK CMA appeal process is in process now, and so we will have to wait. It may take a couple of months. FTC. Now, FTC is an interesting one, because, like I said, FTC did not block the deal. They just they want to block the deal. That's why they directed this case to court. Now, court will have to reassess all the arguments, right? They will look at the facts, and they will assess whether this deal will be harmful for, I guess, competition and everything, right? But the thing about courts are not political. I mean, FTC is a political kind of organization, really, right? I mean, and there's been a lot of talk about Lina Khan, because she's head of FTC, and it seems like she wants to change the law, right? And she may do. I mean, who knows, right? But right now, FTC and judges, like, they will have to, I guess, obey. Is that a correct word? Obey the current laws. So even if FTC wants to change the laws, the judges will look at this case from current laws perspective, right? Not future law perspective. So I don't think that, and a lot of people, a lot of analysts don't think that FTC has a strong case there. So it may just be more about like putting pressure on Microsoft and everything. But, you know, looks like, I think like, and a lot of analysts think that Microsoft will be able to pass this deal through in states with some concessions, just like in European Union. So if that happens, like, it may take a while too, because I think the first hearings are supposed to be around like August, but there's still a chance that they may not go to court, and they may, you know, they may make a deal and stuff. So who knows, right? But worst case scenario, it may take a few months for that deal to clear in United States anyway. But this is interesting thing about US, just like PostUp said, that there's no stopping Microsoft from closing that deal in United States, because there's no preliminary injunction to stop this deal. So Microsoft could actually close the deal, pay the money to our Activision Blizzard king, and call it a done deal. And then they may wait with any changes to the services and everything. They may implement these changes in all the countries that approve the deal, but they may have to wait. They will have to wait for that FTC and the whole federal court case to, well, decide whether this deal can go through or not. If they will clear that deal in US, like in September, for example, I'm just talking out of my butt when it comes to dates now. I don't know when that could potentially happen, but let's just assume August, September, who knows. Then if that clears by then, you know, Microsoft will apply all these changes to United States market too, but they won't be able to do anything before that. But you know, we'll see how that goes. And by the way, there's going to be a lot of paperwork, a lot of work before that deal closes anyway, like formally. So, you know, Microsoft will have a lot of time to actually you know, make that deal work in states for FTC and for federal court anyway. So yeah, that's where we are with this deal right now. I think that this deal still is going to go through. It, like, the conclusion of that deal, like I guess the final chapter of this deal may get delayed, but I think, and I've listened to, well, many times, I've heard both Market Proctor talking about it. I think Hogg's Law was talking about it too. They were talking about the fact that Microsoft can close the deal a little bit earlier and implement all the changes in countries that approved the deal, and you know, and because they still got that final date for the case to be closed with Activision. If they don't close the deal until then, until like end of June, I think this year, they will have to pay up like $3 billion to Activision. So I mean, they may still change the agreement and that kind of stuff, but you know, it's I guess, you know, it's going to be, it's difficult to say if they will, right? I guess if they won if they've got approval in European Union already, that may be a good indication that they may win later in other countries as well. It may take them longer, but you know, it is what it is. So anyway, guys, that's the status update on that deal and possible future, like immediate future. We'll see how that deal goes. I think there's a big chance of this deal still closing, not necessarily like in next 2 or 3 weeks, but maybe later for sure. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. But anyway, so that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about it. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care.